You're listening to Sell the Damn Service, the podcast for service providers who want to scale sustainably, book out with high value clients, and make serious money without jumping on the 6 figures in 7 minutes hype train. Most of the advice out there is built for one-to-many offers, low-price digital products, and hustle-heavy marketing. But if you want to stay in the service industry and still grow big, the truth is you're not being spoken to until now. I'm Emylee Williams, an award-winning business owner who sold millions in the online space through both services and digital products. And after all of that, here's what I know for sure. Services are still the fastest, most sustainable path to consistent revenue. So if you're ready for yapping, hot takes, and straight up conversations about what it really takes to sell and scale your services, you're in the right place. Okay, let's see. Are we good to go? Hi.
Hey,
Look at us doing the thing again.
I know.
Do you miss being behind the mic?
I miss it so much. I have already cried at least 8 times this week. I love it. I've been behind the camera. I've been behind the mic. I'm like, oh, this is the spot. This is what dreams are made of. Oh, feels like it.
I saw the sneak peeks of your new photo shoot, your brand photos that you did yesterday or this week. They look so fun. I cannot wait to see them.
Yeah, it was such a blast. And it feels good to just be alive again. You know, whenever you have seasons where your body our bodies are made of so much water, right? It's like sometimes life just hits you and then the water inside your body freezes and things feel heavy and stiff and it's just hard to put one foot in front of another. I just feel like all the water is thawed and it's flowing again and it feels alive and I feel free and I feel joy and it's like, oh, yes, I missed this. So, yeah, all the things.
I love that. Also did brand photos the day before you did yours, and I texted my photographer and I was like, I just want these to be fun. Like that's what I'm after. So like whatever we need to do to make that happen. So she did both digital with flash, which is so fun, and film. And we just bebopped around Kansas City and we have like a slice of pizza and coffee and like in an empty bar that has like a cheetah tile print on the background. And I'm like, I'm just so excited about them and like what I feel like is this new season of business. And I'm excited that part of this new season we get to do together, which is insane to me. Hey, listen, there are some of my friends who are probably listening to this being like, bitch, you said you were never, ever, 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 ever going to do anything with anyone ever again. And I think you might have said very similar things to some
Yeah.
of your biz besties.
Yes.
And so I want to kind of talk about, I feel like we have had very similar past 2 years. And it's very interesting to me and serendipitous and all of the things that I feel like we both kind of came out of that weird cocoon a little bit, a really murky, messy, dark, and ready to like be back in business, so to speak, at the same time. What have the last 2 to 3 years felt like for you?
Really, really dark. It honestly, I think what it has felt like is this really dark cloud over my life. And the dark cloud keeps pushing me deeper into this ocean. I'm like, can I breathe? I'm not sure. And
Yeah.
everything that felt safe and secure in my life was ripped away from me, not all at once, in pieces over the few years. I mean, marriage, family, my entire friend group. I have had to completely restart life in a way because I love myself again. I
No.
don't think I loved myself in my 20s. I think I was excited, like ignorant love, you know? It's like, oh yeah, but I loved myself enough to follow my curiosity, but I didn't love myself enough to say, hey, I deserve to be treated nicely in
Yeah.
every area, in the dark ways, but also the surface level ways, everything. And I finally, said no. And it was really great, but it also came with, okay, now I have built an entire life where I did not have love anywhere. I looked all around me, it's like, there is no love. And I want a life of love because I want a life of joy. I want a life where I have energy. I'm not a shell of myself, where when I take put my laptop down, the people in my life are nice to me and they love me for me and they don't just want me for my money and I mean, and other things, right? But
Yeah.
there's so
Well, and
much.
just the performance of a projector. I think, like, even bringing human design into this conversation, which we're definitely gonna talk about today, both you and I being projectors, I think a lot of us have dealt with, and I mean, speak for myself, I'm literally about to go to my therapist right after this and have a conversation around this because some stuff, like, got brought up last weekend that I was like, this is, like this is bringing up some very old things that I thought I had already dealt with, and now here they are again, so we're gonna go talk it out later, but I think as a projector of people who are very often praised and liked for their production and for what we do and for how we think and what we can get done. There are it is still something I'm working toward to understand the conversation of truly that I just get to exist and be loved and not perform all the time.
Yeah, like our presence is worth loving, not just our performance. Yeah, I mean, we've been blending families over here, and it has been night and day difference, and, you know,
Mhm.
my partner, he's like, "I just want your presence," and it's like, when you just turn your brain off, it's like, you are the most loving mother. You're, like, there in the trenches with them, but I feel energized by it. I'm like, "Yeah, but
Yeah.
when the second I start performing, like, I have to fill this role. Okay, well, I have to be at the park every time. I have to, pick up and p drop off and do all this." Well, that is my
Yep.
projector nightmare. And then I get drained, and I'm like, I need distance from everything and everyone.
Yep, yep. It has definitely been a learning curve of, like, taking the work I've been doing in therapy and everything that I've been learning in human design and putting those 2 together because I think, nothing can replace therapy. Everything is just added on to that and helps us see some of those things in a new lens. And it's been really interesting of like, okay, if this is my natural default or if this is how I'm wired to think about this thing, here are the unique navigations that I need to then have because of that, whether it's in business and growth or how I feel about myself and my family and my career. And I think going back to like what you said earlier about it's not that you didn't love yourself in your 20s, you loved yourself enough to explore your curiosities. And I felt the same. But I don't think I think I was still so like I was so close to very young teenage brain me that like the concept of loving myself, it was just like I'm alive, and so, like, that's enough, and there were some very emotional times in my teenage life, and so I don't even think that I, like, gave myself this space to be like, "Okay, I'm doing it and I'm surviving, but, like, am I doing it in a way that's kind to myself?" I don't know, and I
I
think
love
that
that question.
that's
Am
the
I doing
season
it
I'm
in a
in
way
right now.
that's
Yeah.
kind to myself? I don't
Yeah.
think we ask ourselves that enough.
No. No, I don't think so. So, I remember very specifically, I'm gonna go back to an Instagram story that you shared that I think kickstarted all of this of
Yeah.
what's happening. So it's just so funny about how timing works and how life works, right? And how the universe works. And you and I had connected a handful of times throughout the last couple of years, very random connections. Like I reached out when you said something about your divorce. We talked about business a little bit. You reached out to me after I had kind of gone through a business divorce and we had talked, very occasionally throughout that. So I knew a little bit about what was going on with you, but not that you were coming back, that you were ready, that what really you would be doing. And so I'm over here minding my own business, learning about tools and apps and human design and getting certified and doing all of the things. And then one day you posted this story where you were like, hey, do you know anyone who you like polled your audience? Do you know anyone who knows human design and who knows how to develop something on like this particular software? And I was like, literally me. What do you need? What are you doing over here?
It's the
And
most
so we
in response ever too. Literally me. That's all I think that's all you said.
Yes. Literally me, raise hand, literally me. And so we still had each other's numbers because we had texted a little bit. And we've known each other since like
9 years?
2014, 2015. I don't know, it's crazy. Um, so you called And I remember walking and pacing my deck outside for like 3 hours because we just were like, and this and that and what's going on over here and what are you doing and what happened over here, and simultaneously catching up and also just doing the projector thing of dumping our brains out and being like, look at all the things that I'm excited about, and does any part of this excite you? And I feel like that conversation was a really big eye opener for, oh, do I want to get back into doing any part of business with someone else? And I mean, we're here. And so I think that that's the spoiler alert. But how was that conversation for you? Did you have some internal, I know you did, but like what was kind of going on for you on that other end?
Yeah, I think it was trust. I think I mean, I had a very different but burned, definitely. And
Yeah.
you have to be so careful who you do business with because I think we all assume, "Oh, I would do it this way. I have these values, so of course you would too. That's just common sense, right?" No, it's
It's
not common sense. People do not have the same values. They do not
not.
have the same character. They do not make the same decisions. Even if they have the same values, they
Mhm.
might completely tank your profit margins and stick you with credit card debt, right? So, trust issues for me. I know trust issues from Emily's side. Yeah, because of people are peopling, and that's okay. But as a fellow person, I need to make sure I'm doing it with people that I actually resonate with. So for me, it was, can I trust Emily? Because am I going to pour all of this into the app and then she takes half, let's say, right? Or what if I create all these assets and then she just rips them away from me, but it's been all my sweat and tears? And I have had those fears, and when I've had them, I have been able to go to Emily and just voice note her and be like, "I'm really scared of this right now." And
Mhm.
it has been the most healing thing because she's like, "I get it. You know what? You're free." And then she just says the most freeing response ever, and then I cry in my kitchen, and Zach hugs me and he goes, "I really like Emily." It's like, "I really do too." That was just last week. So it has been the most healing thing working with you. And I think
Oh,
we're both kind of tiptoeing closer to each other, and it's like
yes.
we've known each other, we love each other, but we still just tiptoeing towards each
Yeah.
other, and I think it's this beautiful little tiptoe dance, and it's
Yeah.
great.
Truly, truly. And I mean, quite literally the same where it's like I remember Brian came out when I was in the middle of the conversation, our first conversation, and he was like, "What is happening here? I can tell that something is going down, and what are you about to get yourself into?" And I remember, and I mean, we don't definitely need to go into all of the logistics, but like I think it's for some of the people who are listening are going to be like, a partnership again, Emily, like really? And when I tell you, like, the amount of conversations you and I had for weeks on end about even our agreement and our terms and our standards and our roles and how those made us feel and the box that we didn't want to be put in. I think both coming in as projectors, both of us have that same similar energy where it's like, don't tell me what to do. Like, don't tell me what
Yes.
to do. As soon as you tell me what to do, I don't want to do it. And so, okay, but then how can we coexist? You know what I mean? And the nuances of that. And I thought about it a lot. I slept on it. I am someone who, and what's interesting is like my strategy and my type is like, it's a feeling in my gut whether this is going to be the right move or not. And my type is very much like, I don't need to sleep on it. I actually shouldn't sleep on it because then I can overthink it a lot. And as a Libra, I think that that also is like, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. I'm weighing all of the things. And so that is there's an art of that decision making process that I'm like, okay, but like, can a decision this big and this impactful truly be a like split second decision? And I think one of the cool things about all the conversations I've been having with you and what we're going to have in our container that I cannot wait for you guys to be a part of is really flexing the muscle of not just the blanket surface level, trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your intuition. What does that fucking mean? And how does it feel in your body versus my body? And how does that come out for different types and different strategies and different profiles? And it's in truly understanding the signs of that and trusting it that you can actually make the right decision. And so one of the things I said to you, I think last week when you were being open and honest about it, a trust thing that was coming up for you, and I think this is what I kinda needed to hear myself was, I said what I felt like I needed to say for you to understand where I was coming from. And then I said, really, truthfully, I believe that every single part of this is going to even out in the wash. Like
Yes.
I don't, there's no, meh. Like it's just, that's what I believe truly. And I think at the end of the day, like that is my core gut response to our relationship. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how this is going to grow. I don't know what all the roles are going to be. And I know that's going to even out in the wash.
I agree. And just getting to know you and how you make decisions, it's like I know when you care, and
Yeah.
both of energies ebb and flow. And I really do just feel like it's gonna work out. And but we both have the same values, and I do know we live by that. And so as it evolves, it's like, okay, communication values, and we're just gonna evolve and ebb and I think we're going up, but like at the pace, the timeline, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? And you get both of us into who knows. I'm excited. Okay, well, do want to talk about the little mini mastermind that we're creating, the
Let's
little
do it.
app that we're creating. And because this is a podcast for service providers, I definitely want to go through this lens of not just how this applies to service providers, sure, because there's the education part of it, but also the nuances of how we're starting this brand new endeavor. And yes, one day it's going to be one to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That's what we're building, but we're starting it uniquely. And I want to kind of do a peek behind the curtain there. So I'd love to hear from you and your take because I know you've been nerding out in the outputs and the dynamics of everything that we're creating. Give me the spiel for why does human design matter for service providers?
It's okay, yeah, let me just chat it all up with you guys. Okay, here's what Emily and I have figured out. Because we're both certified in human design. We're both just completely obsessed with it. And we're also completely obsessed with business, but not just business, right? Like doing business in a way that feels like your personal playground. It feels like your creative canvas. It actually energizes you. And I think that's what we've all been missing, right? Is where we're doing business. And by the end of it, we're like, I have more energy because
Yeah.
I love what I do so much
Yep.
instead of, God, I just did all these things that I should be doing, but I feel so drained, so depleted. My brain is fried. I have no more present space for my children at the end of the day that need me now. And I'm snapping and I'm just not happy. We're done with that. We are all done with that. Everyone listening to this episode right now, we're just going to make an X with our hands because we're done with that. Okay. Here's what we're doing. We are creating a 1 or 5 chapter playbook because we believe these 5 things from your human design chart are going to make the biggest difference from decoding your chart straight into business strategy. So, number 1 is your energy genetics. I This is probably my favorite, kind of. They're all my favorite,
I know they're all so good.
but energy genetics is cool because it is how your cells are designed to create, keep, and use energy. So this means that you have more capacity in the day to do what you love doing, which includes business, but also includes yoga. It
Life.
also includes cooking and
Yeah.
life and putting your feet on the ground. Like it can include so many things, but you actually have more capacity. And this it's like you're getting more out of what you're doing, instead of just if you're working 8 hours, let's say, an 8-hour block, which, that goes into a whole thing. No
Yeah.
one not
Don't
working
do
8
that.
hours, by the way. Okay, I guess I shouldn't even put a number to this, but let's say for every 8 hours work, you're getting way more out of it than you would have otherwise. I probably should say 30-minute intervals. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Don't get too attached to that 8.
Yeah,
Just
your time chunk that works for you, right.
because then we're going into decision DNA, and that is number 2. So, decision DNA is how to make the right decision for you every single time. Emily brought up authority a while ago, like 10
Mhm.
minutes ago. So, in terms of that, like the go with your gut advice, some people, you don't go with your gut. Because
Don't.
some people, they actually don't even have an internal organ that they can go to. So it's very fascinating on what is your decision authority and what is not. I believe there is like 7 or 8 different options. We have visually broken down the mechanics of how your decision making strategy works and then what it looks like in action. And then Emily and I are here to, hey, you have a big decision, bring it to us. We will take your decision authority and then we will help you make that decision and guide you, not projecting our authority onto you. This is the big thing that I'm excited. I'm going a little bit off the playbooks, but I think a lot of business coaches, me included,
Yes.
the last decade, we are projecting our experience onto you. We didn't have a lens to go through. Now we do. Because what was it before? Enneagram? That's just your childhood wounds expressing itself into a personality type, right? Come on. Like
Yep.
nothing against Enneagram, but it's not the depth that you need for business strategy. My goodness gracious. Don't make a business strategy off your Enneagram. Human design actually gives us a lens for how our cells are designed to function and thrive. That is the lens we want your business strategy going through, not what works for Emily, what works for me, what works for so and so. Okay, now I'll get out of that rabbit hole. Let's get to the last three chapters. So imagine your business, your services, making the money you want. You're getting the clients you want. You might have to wait list, you might not, whatever, but you're not worrying about the things that you're worrying about right now. It feels light, it feels natural, it feels creative. That is put inside of a locker. And there's a locker combination. The locker combination are three profit codes. And these three profit codes we are going to pull from your human design chart. They are number one, lead gen. So we are going to get people that are very excited to work with you, but you have their contact information. That's number one. Number two is sales. So it is how are we going to take those people and how are we going to convert them in a way that is aligned with you, with how you actually thrive, what's energizing to you. So if like for instance, some people are like, you have to cold pitch, you have to be on sales calls, you have to do all this. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. There are so many different ways. Well, cold pitching, it completely depends. I would have that on a very low quality scale, no matter what your human design is. Honestly, it depends on how you do it and all the different things. But I'm not going to get into the strategy of that. Anyways, it is so unique to you,
Mhm.
is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Because, for instance, last year I applied human design to someone's business strategy. She was a 1-3 emotional projector. I helped her cross 1 million through one on one services, by the way. This is not a course model. This is not a whatever. This is through one on one service work without social media because social media made no sense for her. If you go through her profile, if you go through her chart, you see all the different nuances, you see how her cells are designed. Social media makes no sense. Now, she has one post on Instagram and has had one post for years, and that's literally it. She doesn't add anything. She barely posts on stories, maybe a few family pictures just for her friends to see. That is literally it. So it just goes to show you it really does depend on your chart. Because for me, if I was going to coach her, like what would sell for me, it'd be completely opposite. I love social media. I DM. I am probably in the DMs at least 2 hours a day. I love talking to my people. Emily's
And
shaking
that
her head right now.
makes me
Yeah,
wanna
absolutely
throw my
not.
phone out the window.
So it's
Mhm.
so amazing to see all the differences, right? And that's where your strategy comes in. Okay, the third profit code is your day to day as an entrepreneur because we want your day to day as an entrepreneur to give you momentum. Imagine it like wind on your back instead of wind in front of your face where you're just like, oh, why is everything so hard? It's like, wow, why is everything so easy right now? Let's just ask some different questions and let's just rearrange where the wind is around our
We can
body.
move the wind, it's fine.
We can move the wind. Yeah. With human design, we can move
We
the wind.
can.
So that and those are the three profit codes. Together, all five of those energy genetics, decision DNA, legion, cells, your day to day as an entrepreneur routine, all five of those make the 5-chapter playbook. And that's what we want to take from your human design chart and coach you. Get in your business, roll up our sleeves, you know?
Mhm, mhm. It's so funny because when we first started chatting and we were talking about human design, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I've been offering human design as like a back like it's inside once we already start to work together." I was hesitant for the past couple of years to like lead with human design and the power of it and do people believe in this? Are they going to like understand it? Am I knowledgeable enough about it to have a conversation about it? And it's definitely a beefy subject, and I think that that is a big part of what makes us really passionate about kind of wording truly how human design applies to business, and we are narrowing the focus to business. There are so many aspects that you could apply human design to: parenting, relationships, your own like so many different things. We know business really well. We've run really successful businesses and have ran and co-founded lots of successful ventures. And so we are taking that and putting human design through that filter of entrepreneurship, small business ownership, growth, sustainability, aligned businesses. I think there are so many conversations that are really buzzworthy and trendy that have especially happened in the last couple years since COVID, especially, but of the like aligned business. But what does that actually mean? And unless it's come really easy to you to figure that out, I promise you human design is the missing puzzle for you to understand what does that actually mean.
Absolutely, for sure.
So, talk to me a little bit more about some of the human design conversations you've had with your clients. I know that the people listening and my clients specifically learn really well through examples of what part of the chart do you believe is the most impactful when we talk about sustainability or lead generation or sales. Is there a combination of information from someone's chart that if you only had to pick like these three things to analyze someone and help them create that business plan, what would those be?
Yeah. I would say, like, let's go into Legion and cells. I think that's going to be one that people are going to be the most interested in, probably. There is a conscious line and an unconscious line in your human design chart. And these lines are attached to a number. Well, these lines are how you function in the world. And so if you're functioning in the way that the strengths of those lines work, things will come a lot easier for you in life, in business, in relationships, and everything. So, for you in business, your conscious line, which is the first number in your human design chart, determines your first foot forward in your marketing style. And then your unconscious line determines how you're actually going to get momentum using that style. So, what's going to actually push it over the edge, make it even easier. So, what's the face of your marketing? What's the push of your marketing? That's what your line. And, for some lines, you aren't the face. For some lines, it's completely different. Like, for instance, Emylee, right? Her skill is the face. Emily's face is not the face. Her voice is not the face. It's her skill set. It's her talent. It's what she's good at that attracts people. And then there's a whole depth and variety to that. But then what pushes her forward is that line four, and that is relations, community circles. And then there's a whole circle stacking strategy you can do in terms of marketing that's going to push that skill forward. And then we're going to close sales. So then we're going to go back to our sales closers, right? We're going to say, okay, well, business basics. Let me just go on a little bit of a rant because
Yeah,
before we started this
please.
app, I was researching human design stuff, right? Because I'm like, what's our not competition, but like,
What's out there?
we'll throw it out there. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was terrible advice. Like business strategy, human design, like, can we curse here? Is that
No, yeah,
this is
100%.
complete shit. That is what I meant. It's like this is complete bullshit. I
Yes.
can't believe people are able to post this because it's like, yes, you're right about the human design piece, but you still have to pair it with business that works. You don't just gonna
Yes.
say whatever the fuck
Yes.
you want.
Yep.
What? Like anyways. Okay. So that's my little rant because and that's why it's important, like, if you're taking business advice, just because they put human design on it, doesn't mean it's actually good business advice. It doesn't mean yes, learn about your human design, but make sure the two actually commingle. So when it comes to sales, like, we wanna take your offer, your service, we want to fit you with a funnel that makes sense for that service. And then we're going to put that through the lens of your human design. But first, we want the mechanics to fit your actual business model. The way it's operating, the way you exist within it, we want that to be energizing for you. And that's where human design comes in. But at the end of the day, we want the funnel that's going to close the highest for you, that's going to feel the easiest for you, and that's going to bring in the most leads for you. And that involves really solid strategy with your human design. So now I'll go back so that the conscious and unconscious line also determines your sales closer. So when we do fit you with the funnel, we're going to say, okay, now what's the style of this funnel? What's the vibe of the funnel? What's the filter of the funnel? What's the closer of the funnel? And your conscious and unconscious line decide all those things. And then we can help format that for you. did that answer the question, you think?
Yes, and I think, like, specifically to put this in some other terms that y'all might be used to, the rant that I'm on, especially because, like, service providers, one-on-one providers, done-for-you providers are my favorite people in the world, and I think that they are drastically underserved in this market, and every single person shouting to them is about, "Grow an email list, sell a low-price digital offer, that's the only way that you can, like, actually scale and make money," and it literally isn't true, and so many people come to me because they've burnt themselves out being on that content hamster wheel and trying to show up on social when that is not something that they want to do, and trying to literally shift and talk to an entirely different audience than who they've even built up over the past decade in their experience. And so they come to me and they're like, I have now this mess of offers and everything feels clunky and feel like I don't know what I'm doing every single day. And so my expertise is streamlining the actual offer and giving them basically permission to, like, you don't need to post on Instagram if you don't want to. That's not where your next client's going to come from. And so what's really interesting is that using human design, like everything that you said, yes. And when we talk about how, like, social media isn't, I don't want to be DMing all the time. I still love creating content because my skill set is in writing and content creation, and I love yapping about business. So even though, like, being on social and making reels or video content, like, that's not my favorite thing, I am a content powerhouse. And so I'm still able to show up in a unique way online that grows my visibility. So I felt like I've built this kind of hybrid business that is hermit led, but content focused, which is like sometimes, like,
Yes.
it's weird, right? It's a weird unique little unicorn thing, which I feel like how everyone feels about their business. But because of that, my point being is when I'm on calls with my service providers, they are also bringing in their own weird unicorn element of, like, yes, everything that I'm saying says I shouldn't be doing this, but this part excites me. Yes, everything I want says that I should be doing this, but here's how I've been setting it up and it's been working. And so the customization of the strategy is also critical and important. And so when we're sitting here talking about human design and the eventual app and hopefully millions of people that we're able to impact with this app down the road, that framework and that methodology isn't going to get perfected by pushing it out to a million people today. How that's going to get designed and perfected and really nailed down is by us doing it custom for each and every one of you as a service before we shift gears. And so I really want to talk about the decision making that we did when we decided how this was even going to be put out into the world, and in the fact that we even paused the app for a second because we want to actually consult, coach, strategize one-on-one with people. What was that kind of, can you tell people a little bit about those conversations?
Yeah. Do you mean the conversations that we are going to have with them in the container or conversations that we've had before the
That you and I had about why the structure needed to be what it is right now.
Oh, yeah, because we don't wanna be building anything that you can't actually use every day. I mean, that's the core of it. It's like, we're not building this for us, we're building this for you. And so we want the people that we're building this for to be a part of the journey, but in a way where you guys benefit from it, you know? And that is why both of us looked at each other like, "Okay, let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get in their businesses. Let's see what their questions are," because we know we can answer it. We know we're gonna apply human design, but we don't want to guess. We don't want to assume because then we're wasting our time and energy. And
And
I
money.
we we want our time, energy, and money to be spent on things that you will use and you will
Yes.
enjoy. And because the whole goal of this is that we want to transform the way you work, we want to transform the way you feel. And we can do that when we're responding. And I guess that goes to the projectors, the invitation too. We want to be invited to create the right thing. And this is our way of creating a container of invitations for us.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't reverse engineer your own strategy. Like, I think that that's
Yes.
gonna be a big topic that we're gonna be talking about. Like, set up the situations for your strategy to be in alignment. Um, there are I talk about this all the time, and we're definitely going to get into the nuances of this in our mini mastermind in the coaching. So you should, if you want to be a part of these conversations in very specific examples, I very much encourage you to join. We're going to have the information in the show notes, the links. It's stupid affordable, and so go check it out, get inside, get your full playbook.
Yeah, it literally
um
starts at $49 a month, guys, for 4 months. I mean,
yeah.
it is crazy. Like, I know you probably hear coaching and you're thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be a $4,000 thing and it's affordable because
No.
it's 1,000." No, it's $49 a month for one of the
Yeah.
chapters. All 5,
Ye-
it's 149. So, seriously, if come on in. It's
Come
and we
on
made it
in.
ridiculously affordable for a few reasons too. We want the case studies like we said, but also we're using this money to pay for the app. So, yeah, we just don't want price to be an obstacle for you. So, yeah, just come on
Yeah.
in.
Well, and I think that like a little peek behind the curtain, we are, I mean, we're self-funding all of this, right? Like we haven't raised capital. If someone wants to invest in this, please holler at us. We would definitely take your money. But it's just us, and it's us and our decades of experience and our communities and our skill sets. And we know that if we do this very intentionally, that it can not only pay for itself, but grow on a much more solid foundation. I think that with kind of the reverse engineering conversation of setting ourselves up to be invited in, this is such a critical part of making sure that what we're putting out there is very solid. And I talk to people all the time about, because they see me on social and my clients are like, I don't want to be on social. And I said, I don't necessarily land my super high level clients from social, but I remind people who I am and what I'm working on, and it keeps people interested and engaged. And their engagement gets me inspired for what to then create and have conversations around. And so I've created subconsciously this truly a loop of, let me be invited to have a conversation so that I'm energized to strategize with clients for curriculum, for pieces of content, for podcast episodes, so that when I then go to create, I know it's something that you guys actually want. Because I think part of the big, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to create, I couldn't have a podcast, I don't even know what to say. It's because you're not creating the door for people to come in and say, this is what I actually want to hear from you. That invitation of a conversation. If it feels like you're just talking to a room, you're not going to do that. But if it feels like you're answering someone's question, and this is something you've talked about all the time too, where the past couple of weeks you're like, I feel like I'm kind of just like not in it. I need to answer some people's questions. Like that's what I need to do in order to feel energized. And so we want to help you create whatever the strategy is for you, but reverse engineer the situation that's going to allow you to be excited about selling and converting and communicating, because that is the biggest factor in you actually selling more of your work, is you talking about it in a way that feels in alignment for you. But what does that actually mean, and how do you figure it out? Yes. Yes. So head to the links in the show notes for sure. If you've got any questions at all whatsoever, our email, truly our direct email for SoulPrint, this mini mastermind, will be linked in the show notes. So you can send us a question. We will check that inbox and get back to you. We're also both on Instagram. I'll put those links in the show notes as well. DM Haley, ask her your questions, and that way she can get you situated, and getting you to understand which playbook is right for you, when to join, how it's all going to work, and all the next steps of what it's like moving forward. Thank you so much for listening to Sell the Damn Service. If you loved what you heard today, do me a quick favor, hit subscribe, leave a rating, and drop a review. It seriously helps more service providers find the show, and it keeps me yapping into this mic every week. It's a nice, free, easy lift way for you to support the show. And hey, if you've got a friend who needs to hear this, please send this episode their way. The more people selling their damn services with confidence, the better this whole industry gets. See you next time.